Losing a pet is an agonizing experience, and the idea of a cherished animal being alone in an unfamiliar or potentially perilous place is a nightmare no pet owner can bear. Most of us would go to great lengths, even risking our own safety, to protect our beloved furry companions. This is why, after a California woman lost her 2 dogs in the chaos of a devastating natural disaster, she sought the assistance of a local hero to locate her pets once the crisis had subsided. Little did anyone know, not even the rescuer herself, what she would discover during the search. In November of 2018, California was ravaged by the most destructive wildfire in its history, known as the Camp Fire. The wildfire devoured a staggering 153,336 acres of land, causing damage estimated between $7.05 to $10 billion. It also stood as the deadliest wildfire in California's history and the 6th deadliest in U.S. wildfire history, claiming the lives of 86 people. Among the communities devastated by the flames, none suffered more than the town of Paradise, where 95% of all buildings were destroyed and all 27,000 residents were evacuated. Andrea Gaylord, a resident of Paradise, faced an excruciating decision when she had to leave behind her family's 10-generation-old home as the flames closed in. However, what pained her even more was the disappearance of her guard dogs, Madison and Miguel, who had fled without a trace as the campfire approached. Despite their desperate search, Andrea and her husband were forced to evacuate, leaving the fate of their beloved dogs uncertain. They sought refuge in a nearby shelter along with hundreds of other evacuees, but thoughts of Madison and Miguel weighed heavily on Andrea's heart. 17 days of relentless firefighting efforts finally contained the campfire. Like many others from Paradise, Andrea was eager to return home, hoping against hope that her dogs had survived. However, when she and her husband attempted to leave the shelter, they were informed that Paradise remained too hazardous to re-enter. Desperate to reunite with her pets, Andrea reached out to Shayla Sullivan of K9 Paw Print Rescue, who had been actively rescuing lost animals affected by the campfire. Upon hearing of Andrea's plight, Shayla was determined to help her find Madison and Miguel. Yet, as Shayla initiated her search, she received word of a dog resembling Madison and Miguel spotted in Citrus Heights, a small city located 85 miles south of Paradise. Shayla immediately drove to the location and was astonished to discover that the dog in question was indeed Miguel. Remarkably, Miguel had journeyed from Andrea's home in Paradise and had been taken in by another local rescue organization. Andrea was overjoyed when she received the news about Miguel, but Shayla was not content with finding just one of the 2 dogs. Thus, loading up her vehicle once more, Shayla embarked on the challenging journey back to Paradise. The roads were treacherous and barely passable as Shayla navigated her way through the once thriving town, now reduced to a landscape of charred ruins, with burnt homes and vehicles lurking beneath the ashes of scorched trees. Amidst such devastation, could anything have survived? Upon arriving at Andrea's raised property, Shayla received her answer. While surveying the charred earth, she noticed movement amidst the rubble that had once been the century-old home. Her heart raced as she approached the scene. There, amidst the ruins, sat Madison. The faithful guard dog had returned after the fire had been extinguished and was now keeping vigil over his former home. Yet, despite the relief of finding Madison alive and well, Shayla still faced one significant challenge ahead. Losing a pet is a heart-wrenching experience, and the thought of a beloved animal being alone in an unfamiliar or even perilous place is something no pet owner can bear. Most of us would go to great lengths, even risking our own lives, to protect our furry companions. In a heartwarming story, a California woman who lost her 2 dogs during a natural disaster sought the help of a local hero to find her pets once the crisis had passed. However, the challenge they faced was more significant than they anticipated. In November 2018, California was devastated by the Camp Fire, the most destructive wildfire in the state's history. This ferocious blaze consumed 153,336 acres of land, causing an estimated $7.05 to $10 billion in damages and resulting in 86 tragic casualties. The town of Paradise bore the brunt of the disaster, with 95% of its buildings destroyed, forcing all 27,000 residents to evacuate. Among them was Andrea Gaylord, who faced the agonizing decision to leave her family's 10-generation-old home behind. What pained Andrea even more was the disappearance of her guard dogs, Madison and Miguel, who had fled without a trace as the campfire approached. Despite their frantic search, Andrea and her husband had to evacuate, leaving the fate of their beloved dogs uncertain. They took refuge in a nearby shelter, but thoughts of Madison and Miguel never left Andrea's mind. After 17 days of relentless firefighting efforts, the campfire was finally contained. Eager to reunite with her pets, Andrea attempted to return home, only to be informed that paradise was still too unsafe to enter. Desperate to locate Madison and Miguel, Andrea reached out to Shayla Sullivan of K9 Paw Print Rescue, an organization actively involved in rescuing lost animals affected by the campfire. Shayla accepted the challenge but faced a daunting task. Madison was wary of strangers, and when Shayla approached him, the cautious dog promptly fled. Recognizing that Madison needed sustenance, Shayla left fresh water and food for him before returning to Andrea to share the news and her difficulty in catching the dog. Together, Andrea and Shayla devised a plan to lure Madison back home. Using an article of Andrea's clothing to familiarize Madison with her scent, they succeeded in calming the wary dog and drawing him back to the property. When Madison returned, he found his relieved owners and his brother waiting for him. The reunion was marked by ecstatic licks, yelps of joy, and a hearty bag of his favorite treat, wheat thins. Madison's loyalty remained unwavering even in the face of catastrophe, as he had valiantly protected his home and family. The story of Madison and Andrea exemplifies the profound bond between animals and their human companions. In the face of adversity, the instinctual loyalty and intuition of pets often shine through, becoming a powerful force in times of crisis. A similar testament to the bond between humans and animals is found in the story of Nana Chachenda from Stockton, California. When she introduced a baby pit bull named Sasha into her home, she initially had concerns about the dog's behavior around her 7-month-old daughter, Masaila. However, Nana believed that with proper training, Sasha would become an ideal playmate for Masaila. Over time, their bond deepened and Sasha's protectiveness towards Masaila became evident. Sasha wouldn't even allow her to take a bubble bath alone. Sasha became an integral part of the family, often seen snuggled up in bed alongside Nana and Masaila. One summer night, Nana decided to let Sasha sleep outside in the backyard to enjoy the fresh air. Shortly after, Nana was awakened by the unexpected sound of a dog barking. Initially dismissing it as a neighbor's dog, she soon realized something was amiss as the frantic barking persisted. To her horror, Nana discovered a neighboring apartment complex engulfed in flames, rapidly approaching her own unit. Sasha's persistent barking continued even after Nana had returned inside, as if she were desperate to get her attention. Suddenly, Sasha made a dash for the upstairs bedroom where Masaila was sleeping. Before Nana could follow, she witnessed flames outside her window. To her astonishment, Sasha had managed to pull Masaila out of her crib, gripping her by her diaper and was attempting to save her. Nana swiftly grabbed Sasha and Masaila and evacuated the apartment. After calling 911, the fire department arrived and rescued the other tenants. Firefighters battled the massive blaze for hours, ultimately containing it. While many units in the apartment complex were spared severe damage, Nana's apartment was destroyed, along with all her possessions. Forced to move in with her aunt, Nana had to temporarily separate Sasha from Masaila due to pet restrictions in her aunt's building. Nana and her family began rebuilding their lives with the help of a GoFundMe campaign. Despite their losses, they recognized that without Sasha's heroic actions, they might not have survived. Nana expressed her gratitude, saying, "I owe Sasha my life. She saved us all. She is our hero." These stories exemplify the remarkable bonds that exist between humans and their loyal, intuitive animal companions, who become heroes in times of crisis.